All right, I had no idea until I did this segment how dangerous inflammation can be and how it is the cause of so many of our health issues. Here's Dr. Morello to explain and give us some treatment options. All right, Dr. G, you've been with us now for about 4 or 5 weeks, giving us such great information about natural health and natural options. Really interested in what you're going to talk about today because it's not something we really think about very often, and that's inflammation. Explain to us what inflammation is.
Well, inflammation, it gets things inflamed.
Obvious question.
Inflammation is something that's been linked to all sorts of different conditions. Conditions like osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, the neurological disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, eczema, skin conditions, asthma, yes, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease. All these conditions are considered inflammatory conditions. And if you really think about that, think about one of the most prescribed medications that we have right across the board, prescriptions that we have, is prednisone. Right? And cortisone. Yeah. And those are given for all these conditions to some degree or other because it reduces inflammation. It works short term, doesn't work long term. Think about all the NSAIDs, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like aspirin, Advil. These are all anti-inflammatories.
Never even thought about that.
So yeah, so when you start thinking about that, you go, wow, inflammation is a causative factor or a contributing factor to a lot of different conditions. And it really, really is. Now, when we look at the science of inflammation, inflammation actually is a response to an injury. So actually inflammation is important in the body. So for example, when you get an injury, when you get a cut, what happens is there is an accumulation of white blood cells in the area creating this inflammatory response to heal the area. Okay. So inflammation is important, but when it becomes chronic, it becomes problematic. Okay. So we're trying to solve the inflammation problem that we now have worldwide. And so how do we address that?
Okay, and so to answer your own question, we have an all-natural option that, from what I hear from Charlie here at Nature's Outlet, it's very popular. A lot of folks use this because it works. Tell us about Curamin.
You know what? It's really this is quite the product, and I've in my own practice, I've given it to over 600 patients now, and it is extremely effective in reducing inflammation. One of the real natural products that you see responses very, very dramatically and very quickly. Mm-hmm. Okay. And first I'll tell you the responses I get. When you give, and you start with 4 capsules. Okay. And in probably 90 to 95% of people with inflammation and pain, with 4 capsules, they should see a response within a couple of hours.
Hours? 2 hours?
2 hours, around 2 hours. Okay. Sometimes 1 hour. That's impressive. It's so impressive. It's hard to believe. I couldn't believe when I first used it. I go, something works that quickly? It's not supposed to work that quickly, but it does. It works that quickly and that efficacious. So once I saw the responses with it, because the ingredient in here, the main ingredient is something turmeric. It's called turmeric. It's from the turmeric spice. And I've used turmeric in the past, but I haven't had very many good results with it. And when you analyze the reason why, there's 2 reasons. 1, it has a hard time getting into the blood. 2, it doesn't stay in the blood for very long. It stays in the blood for maybe 20 minutes. But this, known as BCM95, not only gets in the blood within an hour, all of it, but it stays in the blood for about 8 hours. Very, very different from all other turmeric products in the marketplace. Now, when we study this, because when we look at anti-inflammatories, the drugs in the marketplace, we find that they're very effective short term, but they're not very effective long term. As you notice, if that was the case, then we wouldn't have any pain or inflammation out there, right? Yeah. So this product actually works on similar inflammatory cascades, and we call it the Cox cascade and the LOX cascade. We won't get into details of that, but trust me on that one. But it works on all sorts of other inflammatory cascades, many, many other forms. It regulates the immune system, causes balance in the immune system, reduces overreactive molecules that can cause you to have high inflammations. So it works on many, many parameters that have this balancing effect in the body. So long term, it is very beneficial. So there's almost like a curative, almost has curative properties. It's very fascinating. A fascinating product, fascinating spice that's been used in India for thousands of years, and now we have it in a capsule form that actually is efficacious. So I'm very, very excited about this product. I'm very excited the way it works. And the key to this is it is dose dependent, so you really have to do the dose. So start with the 4 capsules at once, and then if you get real vast improvements, you can try 2 capsules. See where you're at with the way it works. So it works on, I've used it for all sorts of different types of pains: fibromyalgia, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. Just people that feel stiff in the morning, you take it, you won't feel stiff in the morning. It's something that I would recommend people take on a daily basis.
I tell you, Dr. G really knows his stuff, and so do the folks at Nature's Outlet. So if you have any questions about this segment or any of the segments that we've done in the past, you can certainly stop in or give them a call. That's the Roanoke number there, the Electric Road location, naturesoutlet.net. All right, we're back in just a moment.